Hey, it's Scott Barrett, and welcome back to The Burning Truth, where we break down all the biggest action from the world of wrestling. And this week, tonight, I'm back looking at NXT. NXT bought the heat from Atlanta's historic center stage, and we got Bayley and Giulia throwing it down in tag action. Is Bayley, though, already eyeing that NXT Women's Championship? We've got Oba Femi. He's got two challengers now. Trick Williams absolutely lost it, and Bianca and Naomi had their tag team championship defense. They are rolling on a bit of a dominant run, so we had that going on as well. Vengeance Day, which is coming up on the 15th of February, I believe, is shaping up to be huge or massive. I wrote in my notes in front of me here, and we've got a lot to talk about. So let's sit back. Please, if you're watching on live, or if you're not, hit that like button and let's get into it. So as I said, NXT rolled into center stage. Atlanta, which we're hearing more and more about Atlanta at the minute, obviously. WCW country in old money, but the center stage is a historic venue, solid crowd, loaded card, and I would say I say a loaded card, more wrestling than we're used to, I think, this week on NXT. But the night delivered some standout matches and major build, as I say, for Vengeance Day on February 15th. I did get it right. Get in. I've got some notes on the matches as we go through. It was heavy wrestling this week, heavy on the wrestling, but still really, really good. So I suppose where to start, maybe with Bayley and Giulia versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. And these are the four main event women on NXT currently. Well, not really Bayley, but certainly Giulia, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, probably Stephanie Vaquer, or sort of the main event. And Bayley obviously coming down from the main roster, being on TV more than any other characters, certainly at the moment, because I'm pretty sure she's Raw, SmackDown, NXT for like 3 weeks in a row. Absolutely fantastic. But anyway, so Giulia, the reigning NXT Women's Champion as well, she was teaming with Bayley, and they took on that heel duo. The match had intensity from the jump, really fast-paced action, plenty of near falls, wild brawl. Interestingly enough, the first of two women's tag team matches on NXT, which just goes to show the size and scope and how well they're doing with this division. But after a wild brawl, plenty of near falls, Bayley sealed the win with that top rope Macho Man elbow that she does so well on Cora Jade. And then post-match, Bayley and Giulia shared a tense handshake, I would call it, with Bayley really eyeing up Giulia's NXT championship, which teases a future clash that I think we're definitely going to get. After that, I don't know if this is going to be in order tonight, guys. I'm not going to lie. My notes aren't really in order. It may be, but I mean, who knows? But the next thing I probably want to talk about is the Grayson Waller Effect. So we had Grayson Waller and Austin Theory with the Grayson Waller Effect. Are they permanent members of NXT now? Maybe. Do I mind that? No, because they're floundering on the main roster. So I'm quite happy with them on NXT. And they had Oba Femi as a guest. Oba Femi, current NXT champion. Nice to see him. Stirring the pot with him, really. Trash talking. And I think we got to a point where Oba Femi said he would defend the championship against either of them. And it sounded good. He was well up for it. And then Trick Williams interrupted. He was obviously really cross because he wants his rematch for the championship. And Femi dropped Trick with a huge powerbomb, which set the stage for a title showdown with them at some point as well. And then later in the night, the GM, Ava, she made it official at Vengeance Day. Oba Femi will defend his championship in a triple threat against Waller and Theory, which almost feels like a 2-on-1 match. And I'm really up for that, because a 2-on-1 match that feels like a triple threat that feels like a handicap match is something that Oba Femi will absolutely excel in, and he will look really, really strong coming out of, ready for then his defense against potentially and probably Trick Williams. And then speaking of Trick Williams, he had a match a bit later on versus Wesley. That ended in DQ, so obviously still hurting from Oba Femi's attack, or not attack, but brawl and the powerbomb. Trick fought through the pain, but lost his cool when Wesley's backup interfered. I haven't got him in my notes, actually, who the backup was. But anyway, Trick shoved the ref and was disqualified. It was intense. Picked up a chair, started swinging that around, put down one of the officials with a trick shot. Really hard hitting match, and it was really good actually. And I would like to see it again. So we'll do Wesley and Trick Williams again, please. But Trick absolutely snapped after the match, attacked Wesley's allies with a chair, as I say, and is clearly frustrated at not being in the title picture. So when we get again Trick versus Oba Femi, I think that's going to be sensational. Is going to be the word I use. What else did we have? Cedric Alexander versus Ethan Page. So Page obviously still bragging about breaking Cedric's hand a month ago, so that's why we got this match. And then he targeted that injury again, all over the hand. Cedric showed a bit of heart, but Ethan Page shut him down and ended up doing like what is a cutter finisher, but I think it looks more like a twist of fate from a Matt or Jeff Hardy. I think that's probably what the move looks like. Following the match, Javon Evans came out to make the save. Javon Evans, and obviously I say obviously, it's not obvious if you're watching this, but Ethan Page had broken Javon Evans' jaw a few weeks ago, month ago maybe now, and Javon came out to make the save, and rather not like last week or the week before, where he then took a shot and went straight down holding his face. He kept dodging the punches, made that save, and again, as likely set up Page versus Javon Evans for Vengeance Day, which again, let me give you my money because I'm all about that. Javon Evans is an absolute star, and Ethan Page is pretty good too. No problems with Ethan Page. So yeah, Cedric versus Ethan. Ethan Page got the win, but Javon Evans was the real winner coming out of the segment, I think. Then we had NXT Women's North American Championship match, and this was good, So I said last week when I did the double review that I was not expecting Shotzi to be the one that got the title shot. Obviously, she got the pin and got the win at Deadline, and therefore had a claim to a shot at the North American Championship. But Stephanie Vaquer had obviously won the number one contenders match that they had there. So Stephanie Vaquer should have got a title shot first, but she wrestled Shotzi and she lost to Shotzi, and therefore that set up Shotzi versus Fallon Henley first for the North American Championship. So Stephanie Vaquer will still get the match, but Shotzi gets the first shot. And Shotzi put up a really strong fight here. I'm a big fan of Shotzi. I have been for a few years. I think she's, really, really good. But I think when Fallon Henley started targeting her knee, it was more of a back and forth, and then Henley eventually retained with what she calls the hoedown, but is basically a famouser, and got the win there. What was really interesting about this was the post-match. So post-match then, as Fallon Henley's on the top of the ramp at the stage, holding up the championship, and feeling like an absolute boss, Stephanie Vaquer's music comes out. She gets face-to-face with Fallon Henley, confirming that match for Vengeance Day. Fallon Henley holding the championship up high, and Stephanie Vaquer looking at her and looking at the belt. And, how great is it going to be if they put Stephanie Vaquer over and we've got Giulia as the NXT Women's Champion and Fallon Henley as the North American Champion? Yeah, I'm all about that. Yeah, I think that'd be absolutely phenomenal. And then the main event was the Women's Tag Team Championship. And I really like this about the Women's Tag Team Championships, that they're on all three brands. I'm a big fan of that. And the reason is because then we can get matches like this where we get Bianca Belair and Naomi from the main roster coming down to NXT and defending their championships against the up-and-comers. And this time it was Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. And it was excellent, right? Excellent main event. Great athleticism, all four women. And Lash and Jackson nearly pulled off an upset. I've got in my notes. It was a bit more than that. It was a bit of a fluffed near fall. I mean, if you're looking at it from camera angle, I don't think Naomi's shoulder was down on the mat anyway, but the ref wouldn't have known that. So it was a bit of a flub. Should have probably counted the three, but it wasn't long after that Belair and Naomi sealed the win with that double KOD on Jackson, and that was the 1-2-3. And I think they rescued it towards the end. It was a good match though, and that moment probably lets it down because it took the air out of the crowd a little bit. The commentators, Corey Graves, did a great job of mentioning it actually and saying we'll talk about the reffing later. And I think about professional football, right? Soccer for anybody who's in America, but I think about football and I think about all the controversy we have against referees, and certainly some stuff that's gone on over this week with Arsenal and a referee and death threats, etc. But I just think a bit of referee controversy might be a really interesting way to go sometimes with some of this. And this is just a thought in my brain. And it's not anything that's, we try not to focus on the referees in wrestling. The greatest compliment you can pay them is that you don't notice them. But I think there may be something in that, in that, not a heel referee, and I wouldn't want to do that gimmick, but certainly in referees getting it wrong. And, then when you do the post show, you've got something to talk about, and, there's a bit of a story there. And, I think there's something in that as a story beat, not as the main story, but certainly as a beat in the story. I think really, really interesting. But if I had to pick a standout from this match, I would pick Jakara Jackson. I think she was really good, rapid improvement. And I would say she was incredible for this one. I genuinely would have thought she was really good. Belair and Naomi keep the gold. How long? Who knows? NXT, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships are they're an enigma, is the best way to put it. So, who actually knows what's going to happen with them? What happens with Jade Cargill returns? Is there a story there with Belair, or is it a story there with Naomi? Belair hotly tipped one of the favourites to win the Royal Rumble on Saturday night, so you never know. And if you haven't actually, check out the channel, because me and Matt Burns did our Royal Rumble predictions on Tuesday night. That is on our YouTube for you to watch right now. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and have a watch of that. But I suppose we've got just over a week till Vengeance Day now. And what an amazing card we've got. So Oba Femi versus Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller, NXT Championship. Giulia versus Bayley, NXT Women's Championship. I'm not sure if Roxanne Perez is involved in that too, potentially. Who knows? NXT Women's North American Championship. We've definitely got Fallon Henley defending against Stephanie Vaquer. And then, more matches that I think I expect. Probably Trick and Wesley. And then Javon Evans and Ethan Page. 2 matches that I definitely see coming. And that's if we don't do anything with the Heritage Cup winner, which from memory is... it's gone. Help me out here. What's his name? He can't be that important, can he? Heritage Cup Championship match, potentially. Or the tag team champions we've got Fraxium that could defend as well. So there's lots that we could build up to next week. That's the great thing about NXT is they vary what's on the show. Starting to feel that on Raw now, it's a little bit shorter as well. We don't get the same things every week. And I suppose in closing, that was another red hot episode of The Burning Truth in the books. So NXT is turning up the temperature. We're heading towards that Vengeance Day PLE. Things are getting wild. But now I want to hear from you. So in the comments below, please let me know who you think is going to be walking out champion. Is Bayley the next NXT Women's Champ? Or can Oba Femi hold on to his gold in a triple threat? What's next for Trick Williams after that outburst? Please let me know in the comments what you think. And listen up, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It seems like a huge goal, but if you love wrestling and you want to help our channel grow, that's me, Matt Burns, and the rest of the team, please hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, like the videos, and more than anything, please share it out wherever you talk about your wrestling. So whether that's on Reddit, whether that's on Discord, whether that's on any other chat rooms or forums, please share the love for us. We'd really appreciate it. Let's build a community together, because we just want to talk about wrestling, and we would love the opportunity to do that to a bigger audience. So I'll finish by saying, stay hyped, stay wrestling. Matt Burns says DFTBA, which I think means don't forget to be awesome, he says. But I'll see you on the next big NXT review. This is The Burning Truth. And I always finish by saying,